right here. Held the World Heavyweight Championship for quite some time. Classic battle. The King went an entire 1 hour whipping. Now, this was prior to Lawler becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. This, of course, is one of the confrontations with the fabulous Jackie Fargo.
Somebody else, Paul Ellering, the world's strongest man, the world's strongest. You know what? Bo Derek is a 10, right? He is the male Bo Derek, baby, but he's a 15. He's the man with the most beautiful body in the world. And he also, to go along with that, the man also holds the world record in the power lift, 925 pounds. But last but not least, man, in my stable, handsome Jimmy Valiant, baby, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, handsome Jimmy. Yeah, the man who's the greatest attraction in the world. He is the greatest attraction in the world, and I'm the manager of the greatest attraction in the world.
Okay, Jimmy, we've heard all about your stable in there. I never did get the answer to the question that I was asking you a little bit ago. You told us all about your stable of the Iranian Assassin and Paul Ellering and Jimmy Valiant.
But wait, one more thing. Is it going to be the Iranian Assassin, Paul Ellering, or last but not least, handsome Jimmy Valiant, baby? And I'm going to show you what this guy's going to do right now. Yeah, boy, you can dress so Eddie up, but it still don't help him out, does it, Lance, huh? Didn't I tell you something special was going to happen today, didn't I? Well, baby, the time has come right now because it's time for Jimmy Hart to crown the new king of professional wrestling right now. I know everybody's been waiting for it. I know you've been waiting for it.
I can see they've been holding their breath.
But I've got a few things I'm going to put over here by old Dave. Now, Dave, I know Lance can't sing, so I had to bring a little music myself. So when I give you the word, will you punch the button, man, so we can have a little music when I bring the new king of professional wrestling out of here?
You're going to crown a
Hey, it's a Jimmy Hart show. That's what it is. So I want you to listen to me. You know, I've got 3 men in my stable, like I said earlier. The Iranian Assassin, Paul Ellering, and handsome Jimmy Valiant, the Southern Heavyweight Champion, baby. Well, right now, it's time to crown the new king of wrestling. So if the people are ready, and all you jerks at home are ready, this is history. This is history in the making, Russell. Are you ready, David? If you'll push it up, we're ready. Put the microphone on. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, the new king of professional wrestling, Paul the King Ellering. What? Paul Ellering, did you hear me? Look at this man. The $1 million body, baby. Look at him. him. Come on, Paul. Come around. Let these people see him. Look at him, girls. Look at him. The strongest man in the world.
Yeah,
The strongest man in the world. Come on, give me the flowers, Lance. Come on, we're going to do this right. Come on, I'll do it. I'll do it, man. I crown thee the new king, Paul the King Ellering. Woo!
You got a short memory, Hart. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Russell, you knocked the crown off.
I didn't knock the
Come on,
crown
man,
off.
wake up. Look at this body. Look at this body. Come on. Come on, pose for him, Paul. Let me move this robe off just a little bit, man. Come on, this thing's in the way. Show these people these muscles, man. Show them the muscles. Look at that, Paul.
This is your new king, Jimmy Hart.
The new champion,
The
baby.
new
I'm telling you,
king.
The new champion. Come on, show these people the muscles.
Look at this,
Come
people.
I didn't get much comment about the old king out of you.
Look at it. Come on, show them the pose, man.
Look at the back.
Woo! Is it great or is it great?
Well, whatever you say, Jimmy, whatever you say. What a specimen, huh? Moment and a half. That was when Jimmy Hart crowned his first new king. Okay, we've got some more look back down memory lane we'll be taking a little bit later on. We've also got six-man tag action, and we're going to take time out now, and we'll be back to championship wrestling in just one moment. Back to Channel 3's championship wrestling action here in the ring just a moment. Do want to take time out to remind you about Tuesday night. What a night of action it is going to be, and sure, you better believe a 10-man battle royal that'll have a $1,000 bill as the prize. We'll show you that a little bit later in case you've never seen one. Lots of other matches in there, a couple of singles and some tag matches. There'll be a Southern Tag Team title match, and then the finale is going to be a main event you won't soon forget. Jerry the King Lawler will be facing Paul Ellering, the big muscle man out of Melrose, Minnesota that Jimmy Hart has dug up to bring in here against the King. And the rules are that if Jerry can beat Ellering, he'll get Hart not in a single match, but he'll be in there in a handicap match with a partner of his choice. But you first got to get past the big muscle man.
Well, I'm not even thinking too much about that because it's a fact of life. I'm going to get past him. You know, last week, I knew there was going to be a referee out on the floor, but I didn't think that he was going to come in and count Jimmy Hart out and stop the match before I got to completely do him in. Well, what I did to him last week was fine, but it was just a little sample, Hart, of what I got in store for you this week. You know, he told the promoters, no way is he going to get back in the ring again with me by himself. Well, this is just as good, Hart, because I thought I proved it to you last week. You went out and you got this dream machine. You said he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and that he was going to be the one that done me in. Well, he turned out to be a one-night wonder for you. He didn't get the job done. Well, Hart, now you've gone and got Paul Ellering, the man who for 6 months around here, when I wasn't even warm in a hospital bed, and I saw you out there on TV putting my crown on his head, calling him the king. Well, let me tell you something, Ellering. For 5.5 or 6 months, all you heard around here was wait till the king gets back. Well, the king is back. And I'm going to prove it to you, Ellering. I'm going to beat you like a dog that you are. And then Hart, you, and I don't care if you get King Kong and Godzilla, bring them out there in the ring because I'm going to beat their brains out. And then I'm going to get to you, Hart, more than 5 minutes this week.
Well, you'll have the opportunity to see that maybe, but for sure, see it. Got to save a little time because it is such a special time, as a matter of fact, on this particular championship wrestling program. Sitting with us, obviously, is Jerry the King Lawler. In this past week, Jerry, you made your debut in the area after being out for 11 months, and by golly, I'll tell you what, it was great to have you back.
Well, it was great to be back, for those 11 months. I've been like a little kid looking in a candy store that didn't have any money. Well, now I'm able to get in that candy store, and I was great to be back. The response from the fans was just unbelievable. I know how I missed them for those 11 months, and they made me realize that I was missed for 11 months, too. It was just great being back. The people in Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, Nashville, Tennessee, Evansville, Indiana, all the people. It was just unbelievable.
Well, you don't want to leave out your old hometown, and that is Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
I think it was incredible. Over 11,000 people gathered to see the King return into action there, and it was something else, as a matter of fact. We have some scenes of the reception, and we thought you might be interested in seeing this. I know you'll be interested in seeing this. This was This was Jerry's return to his old hometown in Memphis, Tennessee. We were delighted to be there with the Championship Wrestling cameras. And at this particular moment, the house lights were out and a sold-out turn-away crowd situation in there. And everybody was sitting waiting for one thing. And that was for the King to get back. And so were you.
I was ready. You know, I kind of want to do something a little different, something maybe a little exciting. So we came up with a kind of a unique entrance, and we'll see what the people think about it.
Yeah.
Were you surprised, man?
Yes, I was surprised and delighted too. I was like everybody else in the crowd, Jerry. As long as I've been around wrestling, and that's been well over 28 years, this was one of the most exciting things that I have ever seen. If you can picture the Mid-South Coliseum jam-packed, turn-away crowd. Music started, and there were 11,000, better than 11,000 people who were there waiting for the moment and the entrance of the King. What a thrill. Boy, I'll tell you, the crowd was thrilled to see you back here.
Well, it was really exciting. You know, that kind of excitement, like I said, was there in, just all the cities. Evansville, Indiana was unbelievable. I've never seen so many people there. Louisville, Kentucky, the same situation. And it was just electricity in the air, you know.
Jimmy Hart's planning on breaking your leg again so you can be out for 11 months.
Well, you know, I got a few words I'd like to say about that. I'm sure that that's what he had in his mind. He came up with this dream machine. The dream machine turned out to be a nightmare for Hart. Turned out to be a one-night wonder. You know, he had promised Hart he was going to get the job done. He didn't do it. Hart can go out and hire or put a bounty on my head, a price on my head, and hire as many of these stooges as he wants to. Look all over the country, Hart. Spend every last dime you've got and bring them all in, because I'm going to go right through them if I have to, each and every one of them. I don't care if it's 1, 10, 100. I don't care how many it is. I'll go right through them because I'm going to get to you, Hart. And just what you got that first week is just a small sample of what I've got in store for you. Because, Lance, I told you and I've told all the people, and I'm going to make this a promise, that I brought Jimmy Hart into the wrestling business. He was singing in bars in Memphis when I found him, and I befriended him. I gave the guy a break. I made him my friend, and he gave me the shaft. And I'm not going to stand for it. So let me tell you something, Hart. Before it's over with, you're going to be back singing in these clubs if they'll hire a singer with no teeth and with scars all over his head, because that's what you're going to look like when I get through with you.
Well, I got to tell you, Jerry, that I was not only very pleased, I was a little bit surprised that in watching you in your first week back in action, you look great.
I feel great. The leg is 100%. You can forget about re-breaking the leg, Hart, because like the doctor said, it's stronger now than it ever was. So just forget about that. You better try to concentrate on something else. You know what I'm a little bit surprised at? I saw you spending a lot of time today on the show showing old films of this musclehead Paul Ellering, and I can't understand your thinking.
Well,
we've seen enough of him. I mean, you know, if they want to try to bring him back, he was the king when I was gone, but the real king is back. And, I understand that all Ellering heard while I was gone was wait till the king gets back. Well, the king is back, and if Ellering wants to try a little bit of me on, he's welcome to it, too.
Okay. No offense intended again. Tremendous to have you back, Jerry, and
Thanks.
we're just looking forward to seeing you in action and on and on and on.
All right.
Okay, Jerry the King Lawler. Right now, By golly, we've used that time up, Davey. How about a recap of the action that we had today?
Oh.
Tuesday night, Louisville Gardens. Jimmy Hart, you are putting up your most prized possession.
Jerry Lawler, you're right. This is the greatest thing in my life right here, my gold album. And if I thought there was any doubt in the world that you could take this from me, I wouldn't be putting it up. But I know the one man that's got your number, and he's standing right over here right now, Austin Idol.
Well, there he is, the third paid assassin of...
Let's quit the gaga and let's get down to the meat of the matter right now. I want everybody in the city of Louisville, Kentucky, in the city of Idleville, Kentucky, to turn up your televisions and scoot it real close to the television and listen to what Austin Idol has to say. And if Jerry Lawler, you are anywhere within the sight of my face and the sound of my voice, you better get some serious attention right now. You know, there's one thing that Jerry Lawler and Austin Idol have in common, that we both hate each other. I am the man, Jerry Lawler knows it, everybody in Louisville knows it. I am the man that put him in the hospital with internal hemorrhaging. I am the man who put him in the hospital with a broken arm. And I am the man who blinded him where he thought he would never see his family or his loved ones again. Now, Lawler, bear in mind one thing, and you bear in mind one thing too, Hart. I don't need anybody's money, and I don't need anybody's help, darling, because I've got everything it takes. I beat Jack Briscoe with a figure 4 leg lock. I've beaten Buddy Rogers when he tried to make his comeback, and believe me, Lawler, in Louisville Tuesday night, I'm going to slap that Las Vegas leg lock on you, and I'm not going to turn loose until a team of wild horses come and try to tear it apart. Lawler, I'm going to break your leg. Watch.
This all happens Tuesday night at the Louisville Gardens.
11 months of inactivity and disability for Jerry the King Lawler as a result of those 2 broken bones in his right leg. A lot of frustrations, a lot of financial loss, and a lot of other things. And by golly, I'll tell you what, he's been back 3 weeks, Dave, and I got to tell you,
he's made his mark.
Man, he has piled his way back. Jimmy Hart brought in here the big dream machine, 270-pounder, and Lawler dispensed him. Paul Ellering, the muscle man out of Melrose, came in, and Lawler the second week was able to take him. And last week, the universal heartthrob. And by golly, Austin Idol was defeated. We've got some highlights of those matches. Let's take a look and hear some comments from the King.
The King, Jerry Lawler. Jerry, you have come back. Some say stronger than ever. You have met the challenge of some of the most notorious wrestlers, if I can use that word, in the world today. You have taken their best, you have taken their measure, and you have walked out of that ring with your head high and victories under your belt. Yet you are continually faced with challenges by people trying to do you in.
You know, Michael, these past 3 weeks have been probably the most important weeks in my career, especially the first week. My first match back against Hart's #1 man at the time, the Dream Machine. It had to be the most important match that would ever be in my career up to that point. I know there were a lot of doubts in people's minds, and there were, I must admit, some apprehensions in my own mind. Did the King still have it? Could he come back as good as ever? I knew this Dream Machine was going to be a tough opponent, and he turned out to be just that. he talks a good fight, and he fights a good fight once he's in the ring. The guy was as tough and as strong as any opponent I've been in there with, and I must admit, after just a few minutes of the match, I was really concerned. I had concerns about my leg. I was wondering if it would hold up, if the stamina would still be there. But after, say, 10, 12 minutes into the match, I realized that I started getting that good feeling. I realized it was still there, and I was going to make it. And I was able to do away with this dream machine, the guy that Jimmy Hart, had claimed was the greatest wrestler. He claimed that he was going to be the man to put me back out of action for another 11 months, or permanently at least. And I was able to come out victorious over this guy. Now, Jimmy Hart had, the one reason I really wanted this match was because it gave me a shot at Jimmy Hart, and that was one of the most important things to me at the time. But also, I knew that I had something to prove. I knew that I had to prove to the fans that had supported me over the years here that the King was truly back.
Well, the man came after you with everything I think a wrestler could possibly come after another athlete with. He tried everything to put you under. And for the way you've come back, I have heard other wrestlers talk, especially your friends, say that you have come back with more, they've seen you with more intestinal fortitude, with more drive and more stamina than ever before. Yet this man, the fans are seeing the action of this match right now. This man just came out after you with everything except the kitchen sink.
Well, without a doubt, Jimmy Hart had the man pumped up sky high. He had told him that he was going to be the man to put me back out. I'm sure he had a price on my head. He was going to pay the man a lot of money, and he had built his ego up over a period of weeks, and it was like he was chomping at the bit, so to speak, by the time the bell rang. And he did give me one of the hardest battles that I've ever had, but I was able to come out victorious. And like you said, though, as soon as I stepped out of the ring, there was Hart right there with another challenge. He brought in, another one of his top wrestlers, the man who had taken my place while I was out with the injury. He showed up with Paul Ellering.
Well, Paul Ellering, I'm aware, or I have been made aware of the fact that he has been on not only a nationwide tour, but a 3-nation tour where he was undefeated in many sections of this country, in Mexico, across the water in Japan. He came into town to do one thing, and I'm sure, without a doubt, you know who is behind this. He was in to destroy you. He had made some comments to that nature. Yet he came in that ring. He came in that ring breathing fire. But again, you came to the challenge.
Well, it was the 2 days after my leg was broken there. Wasn't even really warm in the hospital bed. I turned on the TV, and I knew I hadn't had a call from Jimmy Hart, and I just figured, well, something's wrong. I know he'll get in touch with me. I turned on the TV, and here is Jimmy Hart, and what is he doing? He's out there on TV. He's got my crown, and he's putting it on the head of Paul Ellering, telling everybody that Lawler's like an old racehorse. When he's broken his leg, you might as well shoot him because he's finished. And now I've got the new king of wrestling, Paul Ellering, here. Well, Paul Ellering dominated wrestling around this area for 6 or 7 months, but I understand that every time he stepped in the ring, the fans were telling him, Paul Ellering, wait till the king gets back. And that's what I was thinking about. I thought about him for a long, long time. So I was ready for this match. I wanted it more than Ellering wanted it, because I wanted to prove to him and prove to the fans that, I wanted to show them exactly who the real king was. And I think when the match was over, Paul Ellering kind of tucked his tail, and he may have had second thoughts about listening to Jimmy Hart and having him come back in, because, like you said, he was on an impressive win streak. He had gone undefeated since he left this area, and now that record is marred, and I don't know if he's going to be too happy about coming back in when Jimmy Hart calls for him again.
Well, I tell you, the man came in. You've got to admit that Paul Ellering has to be one of the strongest wrestlers, as for pure physical strength, of anyone. But yet again, you came to the ring ready for action, and you did the man in. You walked away with from that ring with your head very high and with a victory under your belt.
Well, it's a mental thing, Mike, as much as a physical. He was tremendously built athlete. He held the world deadlift record, but then, like I said, I had something to prove, and proven it to Hart, and I've proven it to the fans, and I came out on top of Ellering, and just as soon as Ellering was gone, Hart came up with
Your
another.
challenge was not over, and none other than Austin Idol. Here's a man that is world-renowned, a man that is respected in some circles of wrestling as probably one of the most hated men in some circles of wrestling. He came to the ring again with fire in his eyes, with the idea to put Jerry Lawler out of wrestling once and for all.
Well, you know, I have to admit, Michael, when I heard that that Hart had hooked up with Austin Idol, it did cause me some concern, because give the devil his due, Austin Idol is the man who has hospitalized me in the past probably more than any other wrestler. He broke my hand. He caused me internal bleeding that I was hospitalized for 2 weeks with. He tried to blind me one time by throwing some ink or dye into my eyes, and caused me a hospitalization there. And I knew that this man, you know, there's a saying in sports, or sometimes when somebody has somebody's number. Well, that's what Hart thought. He and Idol, I'm sure, both thought that Idol was the man that had my number. He had done it in the past, and he thought he could do it again. So I was concerned when he called for Idol. But like I said, it was just a process of sitting down, getting myself mentally prepared for the match. When a guy does things like Austin Idol has done to me in the past, it's something that you never forget. It's like a scar that you carry from now on. And you know, I've thought about Austin Idol a lot in the past. Sometimes on a cold day when the hand is kind of stiff, you know, that's the first thing that goes through my mind. So I thought, well, here's an opportunity to not only show Hart that he's not going to be able to keep bringing in these guys, that it's not going to do him any good, but also to get some revenge on a man who's caused me a lot of pain and agony in the past. And the fan support was terrific, and I was able to come out on top once again. And I'm just trying to prove to Hart that I'm going to get to him one way or the other. I don't care who he brings in. I don't care who I have to go through. I'll answer any challenge, but I'm going to, my number one, my main objective at the end of the road, after I go through all of his opponents, I'm going to get to Hart, and I want him out of the wrestling business.
Well, Jerry, you have certainly come back stronger than ever, I might add, in continued success and continued good luck in that ring. But for goodness sakes, and I'm sure the fans would reiterate this point, please be careful. The King, Jerry Lawler.
Match, all three of them, as a matter of fact. They are most impressive wins over three very formidable opponents, and maybe the most formidable, Joe LeDuc, coming up.
Yes.
We got more action. We'll be back to it in just a moment. Bounty Hunters, that'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Coming in right now, the man we were just talking about, the King. You got to be feeling awfully good after looking at the highlights of three very, very tough guys.
I feel so good, it's hard to put it into words. I feel really good today. I got some great things to tell the people. First of all, as you know, last week I was able to come out victorious and win Jimmy Hart's gold record.
Yes, you did.
Now, that is all that I've heard all week, you know, from a lot of the fans. They've said, you're not going to really throw that record in the river. Now, a gold record. You know, and I got to thinking I could have that thing melted down, make some nice jewelry or something, a ring or something. So I checked up in Nashville with some friends of mine, and I found out that the records are only gold-plated. And, I mean, you know, they would have some value, but really the main value is to Jimmy Hart. And I think that I want to see the look on his face as he sees that gold record of his that he's so proud of sink slowly to the bottom of that river down there. So what I'm going to do today, this afternoon at 4 o'clock, I'm not going to block any traffic or anything. I'm going to stop, and I'm going to walk right up on that bridge. So if anybody wants to come down there and see this little event, 4 o'clock today, the old bridge down there, downtown, the old bridge, and I'm going to walk right up on the middle of that, and I'm going to take that precious gold record of yours, Jimmy Hart, and we're going to drop it right to the bottom of that river.
He'd be out there in a scuba gear trying to go get it.
Yeah, I hope he is. I hope that wimp does that.
Tie an anchor to it.
Let me tell you something. He better get himself some scuba gear or get himself another guitar or something, because after this week, Hart is going to have to find himself a new profession. Now, I know I've told you, I've come out here and I've told the people that my main objective since
returning to action was to get Jimmy Hart out of wrestling. You know that, Lance.
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, you said that during the recuperation.
That is right. Well, finally, it has finally come down to the opportunity to do just that. Because I don't know if you've told the people about the stipulations on the upcoming match. Well, let me tell them. Because this is the greatest thing that has ever been since sliced bread. Joe LeDuc. Jimmy Hart has gone out and gotten Joe LeDuc. And I'm sure that they've talked and they have both convinced each other that Joe LeDuc is the man that can do the job. He's the man that can put me back out of wrestling, re-break my leg or whatever. Well, let me tell you something. The stipulation on this upcoming match is not if, but when I beat Joe LeDuc. You're going to love this, Lance. I love it. When I beat Joe LeDuc, they're going to take you, Jimmy Hart, you little wimp, gutless wonder that you are, and they're going to take a pair of handcuffs. They're going to handcuff those slimy little wrists of yours, and they're going to handcuff you to that top rope, Jimmy Hart. And then we're going to pull that shirt off and expose that little wimpy back of yours. And while you're handcuffed to that top rope, I'm going to get myself a leather strap, a nice, big, thick, wide, like a razor strap, Lance. And I get to give Jimmy Hart 10 lashes. 10 big ones, baby. Now, let me tell you, the great part about this stipulation, though, is you're going to be standing right in that corner, and you're going to have this microphone. And Hart, at any time you want to, after that first lash, and I promise you, I swear I could bring blood with every lick. But anytime after the first one, all you got to do is say into this microphone, I've had enough. You don't have to take the other 9. You can just say, I've had enough. But if you say, anytime between 1 and 10, if you say, I've had enough, then you are out of wrestling. That's the stipulation that Eddie Marlin has put on there. You are barred for good. You can get yourself another job, punk. And I promise you, Jimmy Hart cannot take 10. He will take 1. That's about all I think he can take. And after that 1, he is going to have to say into that microphone, I give up. And when you say that, Hart, it's goodbye, baby.
This is the crowner to get him out of the business right here, because you know that when you start unloading, he's not going to be able to take all of them, and he'll quit.
That is
I got to say this, Jerry, and while you have been a man of your word, and the Dream Machine and Ellering and Austin Idol are history, of all of the guys, probably all of the guys all over professional wrestling in the world that I know of, the toughest, the most physical guy that I know of is Joe LeDuc. Now, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm simply saying that you must remember back. We went back and dug out some of our old tapes and some of the matches a couple of years ago with you and LeDuc. And not to try to rub it in any wounds or anything, but I want to remind you by looking at this, if you'll stay right here with me, to see some of the things that Joe LeDuc did to Jerry the King Lawler when they were wrestling.
We're going to watch that now, huh?
Let's take a look at it.
Thought you would be interested in seeing the contest called an arm pulling contest. Now, in this match, the entire idea is Joe LeDuc puts some cuffs on, one on each arm, with a rope at the end of each cuff. He gets himself into a bear hug position, locking his hands. 10 people have been selected from the audience, 5 on each side. They start, they don't jerk it, that's not the way it goes. They have to have a steady, slow pull to see if the 10 men have the strength to pull the hands of Big Joe LeDuc apart. Here's what the exciting couple of minutes of action with that arm pulling contest and Joe LeDuc looked like. Well, that's what it looked like when 10 guys pitted their strength against Joe LeDuc's bear hug. One interesting note in there, in looking back on it, the strap on the right-hand side, actually right at the end of it, the strap broke before LeDuc's grip did. He was holding against 10 men, and he was successful in being able to keep the 10 men from pulling that bear hug apart. King. Lawler missed, slammed that shoulder into the post. Now LeDuc hammering Lawler once again. Lawler, bull with that right hand of Joe LeDuc. Whips him. Oh. Referee Jerry Calhoun trying to break him up because they are on the ropes. Now LeDuc gets him away from the ropes. Resets his hands. Big Joe. A stinging right hand.
Yeah, it was Jean-Louis in there with Jos LeDuc, and this guy is possessed. He is so masked.
He's a nut. He's an idiot. He's a goof. That's what he is. He's strong. He's big. He's tough. That's right. Yeah, I've had some tough battles with him. You know, I don't forget him. I got a scar on my leg where he picked me up, threw me over a table. You know, cut the muscle in half on my leg. You know, he's tough. But Lance, with the stipulation like I got on this match, he's not going to stand in the way of getting rid of Jimmy Hart. I'm going to go through LeDuc just like I did the rest of those three jerks, and I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to get to Hart. That's it.
Well, you hear it very simply from the king. Stick around a second. I'd like for you to look at this tag match we got coming up, if you would, okay?
Yeah, sure.
We're going to take time out right now, and we'll be back in just a moment.
A little bit ago, Jerry, and you said the guy's a nut. There is no question about it, in my own mind, that he is not only possessed, he is, in fact, a little short in the deck upstairs in there. A couple of years ago, you probably remember the incident in there. He did something that is proof of the pudding because no sane man would ever do. And you know I'm talking about that blood oath with that axe in there. And I've had people say, oh, he didn't really do that. Man, I said the same thing standing there. I couldn't believe he was doing it. I want to show you what this guy did in case you missed it.
Anybody and everybody say that I'm sick and I'm crazy. Yeah! Shut up, I gotta talk.
Boy, I couldn't believe it. I was standing right next to him, and every time I look at it, I could not believe that anybody who was sane would do anything
Well,
like that.
you said it right there.
Oh.
He's obviously not sane. He's an idiot.
But
he's a goof.
The outcome of that particular one was one of the most serious injuries that the king ever had following that oath that he made. And I know you don't have to be reminded of this. You remember? He held you up in the air. We were sitting down at the timer's desk, that big oak table, yes. And LeDuc threw you like a spear right out of that ring, and you hit right on the edge of that thing that caught. I'll never forget that. The indentation where he hit, you could put 3 fingers on. I just, well, we want to go show a lot of, I know you remember, but I did want to show just a little bit of it here. This is Jerry Lawler and Jos LeDuc. Boy, I tell you, what a scary thing. I know it must have been for you because you were way up there in the air. I'm sitting down there watching your body just sail.
That's right. He threw me. It cut the muscle right in half of my leg, and it, you know, I had to have some surgery on that. Still got the scar. So what it boils down to is that Jos LeDuc, because of me, has a scar on his arm that he looks at every day. And I, because of Jos LeDuc, have a scar on my leg that I see every day. So we think a lot about each other, and I just can't wait to see him again face to face.
Okay. We're going to take time out. We've got a second fall of that big tag match coming up. Be back to it in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Promoter Eddie Marlin, Mr. Hart, Mr. Cameraman, I'd like to thank you for coming and part of my residence, my leisure time. Ladies and gentlemen, you know Jos LeDuc don't like to make interviews, don't like to talk to a camera. I make it special now. Mr. Lawler, there's a message coming to you. Mr. Marlin, make sure you make the message. You drove all that way to come to my residence. I know what you want. You want Jos LeDuc. the Canadian lumberjack, the man, the one, the only, Joe LeDuc. Now I travel all over the world, in Japan, in Korea, in Australia, and I go in big city in the United States. Now I'm coming to the area of Jerry Lawler. I thought I had the job done. Jerry Lawler, the last 2 years, you've been nothing. A dog. You pick up garbage. And lately, Mr. Cameraman, come on over here. I said, come on over here. I hope you got another microphone. I don't like to talk on this. Mr. Lawler, now you're watching Joe LeDuc. Now you're watching the Canadian lumberjack, the men that throw you in the air 7 feet away and cut your muscle in your leg and break the bone in your leg. That's why you haven't been picking up garbage. But lately, somebody told me that you beat a masked man. A masked man. People tell me Dusty Rhodes come to Memphis, Dusty Rhodes come to Evansville, Indiana, Dusty Rhodes come to wrestle Jerry Lawler. Well, I know Dusty Rhodes, the American dream. I've been with Dusty Rhodes and I've beat Dusty Rhodes many a time. I know Dusty Rhodes doesn't come to wrestle Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler, you're a good man. You're an opportunist. You beat Austin Idol. Now he's with Anita Bryan. You beat a masked man supposedly being Dusty Rhodes. What does that prove? I'm going to tell you something. Mr. Cameraman, take a close shot of my arm right here. I cup my arm. I make a note with my axe that I will hurt Mr. Lawler. And I did. Mr. Lawler couldn't wrestle for 2 years. And now he's coming back, trying to tell everybody how good Mr. Lawler is. How good. Jerry Lawler, let me tell you something. You are Jerry Lawler. I hurt you once. I prove, I make a note, I swear that I hurt you and I hurt you. And now I'm coming back to finish the job because I did not finish the job good before. Now the man is paying me some money, a lot of money. He's paying me some bread. You know what that means? You know what that means when Philadelphia beat Dallas? You know what that means? When you go in the field and you go there and you say, I'm going to get Jerry Lawler, you know who you're going against. You're going against me. And now I'm coming for you.
South Coliseum, weighing in at 284 pounds, from Canada, introducing lumberjack Jos LeDuc. His opponent, 233, Memphis, Tennessee, the stipulations say that should Lawler be able to defeat LeDuc following the match, he will have handcuffs on Jimmy Hart to the top rope and will have the chance to administer 10 lashes to Hart. I will have a microphone, and after each lash, Hart will have the opportunity to say, "That's enough, I quit." Also, if LeDuc defeats Lawler, then Hart will have the opportunity to handcuff Lawler, and he will get to administer the 10 lashes, and Lawler also will have the opportunity to quit and quit wrestling here. Your referee is Paul Gordon. 1 ball, 60 minutes. It's bell time.
Off and running in the main event of the evening. This is the much looked for battle between Jerry the King Lawler and big lumberjack Joe LeDuc. LeDuc, coming in at 284 pounds, is even bigger than your memory brings back to you. Not in height, but tremendously wide and thick, very, very strong. He's got a bear hug that'll put a bear to his knees. Lawler giving away 51 pounds in this match. Lawler in at 233. Referee Paul Morton, his will not be an easy task. The special stipulations: if Lawler wins, he gets to handcuff Hart to the top rope and administer 10 lashes. Hart at any time can stop the whippings by saying, "I give," but it means he'll have to get out of the wrestling business. By the same token, if LeDuc defeats Lawler, then Lawler will be handcuffed to the top rope, and Hart gets to lash Lawler, and Lawler will have the chance to say, "I give," at any moment. But that means he will be retiring from wrestling in his home. Jerry Lawler on the left. Huge Joe LeDuc comes straight in at him. Lawler with a side headlock on LeDuc. Referee trying to back Joe LeDuc up. Starts the count. Oh. And Lawler fires one back. Boy, he took a shot from Joe, and he blasted LeDuc right back. LeDuc was reminding him before it got started about the table over here. Jimmy Hart up pleading with LeDuc. Get him, finish him. LeDuc also earlier, and I didn't see exactly what that was all about, reached over, grabbed Hart by the lapels on the outside ring apron, lifted him right over the top rope and brought him inside the ring to talk to him about something. I don't know what it was. Uh-oh, LeDuc right in, goes for the throat. And he puts Lawler down. Lawler's had an incredible success against 3 tremendous opponents, the Dream Machine, Paul Ellering, and Austin Idol, being victorious in all of them. But he may be against the toughest opponent he has faced since his comeback began. LeDuc just swinging that right hand. And LeDuc breaks it back. Lawler goes to work on Joe LeDuc. LeDuc staring Lawler down now. Back on his feet. Boy, and when LeDuc looks at you, he is a man possessed. LeDuc, Lawler was coming at him with a fist, but LeDuc hit him with a knee, a foot right in the midsection, then lifted him off the canvas with a right hand. LeDuc kicks Lawler down to the concrete floor. And Jerry looking up at the massive size of Big. Crowd really starting to create a roar to get Lawler started. Lawler taking a rugged shot, comes back with one of his own. LeDuc almost turned him over backward. And down goes referee Paul Morton as LeDuc fired Lawler off, clearing a path, knocking Paul Morton out of the way. LeDuc picks him up. Pile driver. The referee coming back around after he had been dumped by Lawler's weight, and he got out. Sheer determination. LeDuc shot in the back of the head. and Big Joe down. Jimmy Hart at the ring apron, hops in the ring. Lawler pile drives LeDuc, and that's going to be a disqualification. The referee's telling him he used the pile driver, and Lawler is being disqualified.
16 minutes and 6 seconds. The referee has disqualified Jerry Lawler for use of the pile driver. Lawler disqualified at 16:06. The winner, Joe LeDuc. LeDuc will be the winner, as the referee disqualifies Lawler. For use of the pile driver. He did not see LeDuc use it because he was dazed and knocked down to the mat by Lawler a little earlier in the match. But he did see Lawler use it. And the crowd very unhappy about it. Jimmy Hart up there saying, "I want my licks." And Lawler, with the agreement of some 8,000 people that are here, saying, "No, man, it's not fair. He used a pile driver on me, but the referee only saw Lawler use it and not Joe LeDuc." Hart coming over to promoter Eddie Marlin. And Lawler, what I'm sure in his mind is a totally legitimate complaint, and the crowd agrees with him. The fact that LeDuc had used a pile driver. So finally, after some stern words from the referee, Lawler submitting to the handcuffs, and Hart feeling very proud of himself. Hart will have the chance to administer the lashes to Jerry Lawler. We're going to have to get around here with a microphone because Lawler can stop the beating anytime he wants to say that's enough. But it'll cost him wrestling in his native territory. We'll have to get up there with a mic. Again, there are 10 licks awarded to Hart
By virtue of the disqualification,
at any time after a lick, Lawler has the prerogative of submitting and agreeing not to wrestle, or he can take the 10 licks.
Coming out here in a big tag match. I promised it earlier, and we want to get Jerry the King Lawler in here because we did promise you right at the beginning that we were going to answer the question. Jerry, I have had 8 million questions about what about the gold record? What about the gold record? He promised he was going to throw it in the river.
Well, you know, I won the gold record. I brought it down here to the Mississippi River, the old bridge there, and there were a lot of people out there. Matter of fact, there were so many people that it kind of hindered the cameraman. I wanted him to get the camera right over the edge where he could see it hit the water and everything, but there were so many people it was just too
couldn't
dangerous
get up
to
there
put the camera over and everything. We brought just a few seconds of film, and I hope Jimmy Hart's watching this too because he can see that precious gold record of his.
A lot of people were saying,
drink.
you know, you're crazy throwing that gold record in the into the river. Like
well, you know what? I checked in and I found out that gold record was a lot like Jimmy Hart. You know, it kind of looks all right on the outside, but it's really worthless, and that's what it boiled down to. It was just a gold-plated record, and it's just, you know, it's really no monetary value to the thing.
Yeah. So I thought that you were aware of that. Hey, look at here. There goes the King with the gold record, the Jimmy Hart gold record tucked under his arm. People just couldn't believe that it really was going to happen.
Well, they're fixing to believe it. They're fixing to see it right there.
Well, got a little bit of it, yeah. Almost going down.
It was really nice. You know, it hit the water just so nice and perfect, shining straight up, and the glass broke, and it kind of did a couple little circles and sunk out of sight. Just like Jimmy Hart's going to be doing later.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry. We had indicated that we were going to have that footage. We want you to get the visual look at exactly what happened to that gold record. I'm ready.
Coming to the ring now, ladies and gentlemen, a wrestler who formerly held the CWA World Heavyweight crown. He was the longtime holder of the AWA Southern Heavyweight title, as well as the Southern Tag Team co-holder. Coming to the ring, Jerry the King Lawler. His opponent in this feature main event tonight has been secured by manager Jimmy Hart. Coming to the ring, one of the top 10 rated managers in the world of professional wrestling, Jimmy Hart, without... He must be wrestling by himself.
Come here, Russell. Read this, man.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the man who held the Southern Heavyweight Championship without a loss for 7 consecutive months, the man that Jerry Lawler ducked and dodged.
Come on, read it, man. Don't sit up there blowing.
Ducked and dodged during that period of time because Lawler was afraid of getting his brains beat out. The man who currently holds the New York State Championship. Well, this is the man that Jimmy Hart is brought in to try to do in Jerry the King Lawler. Hart at ringside as Lawler is dwarfed. Big, rough, and mean wrestler. Uses a bulldog. Reversal, and Lawler is whipped in by Ron Bass. He's got a man here that can hurt him quick. Lawler ducks under one and scores his first big lick. Lawler blocks the right hand, snaps those punches back at him and puts Bass down. And a whip. Ooh, big elbow. And a large one takes another from Lawler. One, and there's Hart. He fell out on the floor. And there goes Lawler out on the floor over by Hart. Hart kicking him in the back. Hart into it with one of the wrestling fans. Bass grabs Lawler, bounces him right down into that chair on the floor. Hart trying to rub it in. Lawler pounded down on the timer's table into the front row. Bass slammed him in there. And Bass nails him with a chair. Boy, he's taking this no disqualification right to Hart. He pounded Lawler right on top of the head with that chair. And Lawler maybe, now there he comes. He was down, but not out. We're coming up on 8 minutes of wrestling action on Lawler. But if Lawler can beat Bass, Lawler gets to whip Hart. And again, with that metal chair, Lawler is nailed and decked. Reverse neck breaker. Down Lawler goes.
10 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass.
As that atomic knee drop. One of the great trademarks of the King, that ability to take punishment and recuperate. And swinging at him. Lawler trying to shake it off. Gets that adrenaline going. Hart saying, finish him, finish him. I don't know what he thinks Bass been trying to do. King. Boy, he is earning the blood money that Hart paid him as Lawler pounds him with about 6 straight rights. And another. Hart having a fit. Lawler from the second rope. Flies out there and nails Bass. That's going to be it. 13:37. Jerry Lawler, the winner.
As he approaches the ring in the Coliseum, introducing the incredible Hulk Hogan.
A master strategy man. And Lawler sidestepped him and threw him in. Lawler put up on the ring turnbuckles. Lawler blocks the right, pops the hook. Lawler, a man with enormous confidence, takes it right back from the foot and the big arm, whipped into the ropes. And that elbow put him down hard. Lawler grabs that jaw. Man, oh man. Hulk, big body slam. I think the Hulk knows. Comes in with a chokehold, and the referee says, bring it up. Reverse wrestling attire. Referee trying to break Lawler up, pounding away with that right hand. And Lawler puts the Hulk back into the ropes, and he sags. And Lawler takes over. Hart breaks a walking stick over Lawler's back. And the referee says, ring the bell. So it'll be a disqualification on the Hulk. And Lawler going after Hart, going after the Hulk with a walking stick. He's got a piece of it. The winner in 14:28 is Lawler by disqualification. He decks Hart. And Hart scrambles to the floor and to the security of the Hulk. Lawler, the winner in 14-28 by disqualification. Jerry the King Lawler. Son of a gun, you've been, your attention has been elsewhere up to this point, Jerry. It's kind of been directed at Jimmy Hart and the vendetta about Hart, but I know now that you are turning your attention to bigger and better things, I might say, a Southern heavyweight title. You're looking for handsome Jimmy Valiant, who's got that title around his waist.
Well, you know, you're right about one thing. Up until now, that has been my primary objective, is to get my hands on Jimmy Hart every chance I can. I've had some, you know, matches with stipulations where if I won the match, I would get a shot at Jimmy Hart. Right. I love that. I love when he's around the ring, because when he's around there, I know I'm going to get my hands on Jimmy Hart. And then I had a few matches where, you know, he was barred. I didn't really like that. I want Hart out there where I can get a little piece of him every chance I get. It's been my primary objective, and it'll always be my objective, because I've said it. And, you know, you can't come on television in front of 300,000 people and tell them you're going to do something and then back out of it. I said that before I'm through, one of these days, I'll get rid of Jimmy Hart. I put him in the wrestling business, and I'll put him out of it, and that's going to be my objective. But when other opportunities come up, such as this one has, naturally I'm going to take that. And you're right, I'm going after the belt, and I don't call it the belt, I call it my belt. I was never beaten for the belt, and I'm going to, you know, when I had my leg broken, Handsome Jimmy was strutting around, shooting his mouth off. He even had my crown. Well, I took my crown back away from him when I had a broken leg and my leg in a cast. I want Valiant to know that I'm coming after him now, and my leg is as well as it's ever been, and he's got my belt, and I want it. And another thing I like about this match is the fact that Jimmy Hart is managing Handsome Jimmy. He will be at ringside, and Hart, I hope you get your nose, your stinking little rotten, slimy face, just anywhere close to that ring, because I'll beat your brains out. And I'm going to walk out of that ring this week with my belt back around my waist.
Jerry, okay, admirable. I got to say this, though. I know how you have a tendency to kiss off opponents of all varieties and species that are some pretty doggone tough guys and all. And not for the purpose of doing this. I want to tell you that for a fact. But as an interesting thing, I was going back through the tape file, of course, that we keep with Championship Wrestling, and I was astounded how many times Handsome Jimmy beat the stew out of you. Now, that's the pure, simple fact of the matter. He used all variety of it. Okay, now wait, I want you to sit here with me on it. And it was not for the purpose of this, but...
What was the purpose?
The purpose was just simply to review, because I knew you were coming up for a Southern heavyweight shot. I wanted to take a look at it, but I want to share with our Championship Wrestling viewers some of the action with Jimmy Valiant and Jerry Lawler. Let's take a look at it.
And Lawler takes a big one from Jimmy Valiant off the ropes. Valiant goes after the cut. Handsome Jimmy pouring it on now. Referee Jerry Calhoun backs him out of the corner and lets Lawler out. Ooh. Lawler taking quite a pounding now.
Come on, Jerry. Come on, baby. Come on.
Valiant using his shoe. Oh, no shoe then. He tagged him. We're coming up on 5 minutes of action, one fall, 60-minute time limit bout. As Valiant banging away hard on Lawler. the 5-minute call, and at the 5-minute point, Lawler in trouble. Lawler knocked from the ring apron, knocked him all the way over. This could be it. 1, 2, and Harley kicks him. Where does he get it from?
Ooh, well, obviously.
Let me just say this. I know it took you a long time to grow that big banana nose you got on your face. It had to take you the same amount of time to put together to look through all those films to find that much action on Handsome Jimmy beating me. Let me tell you something. You have just seen, I hope you watched it really good, because you have just seen the last of any kind of film like that, because I will whip him like the dog that he is, and Jimmy Hart too, and I will walk out of there with that belt around my waist.
Okay.
My belt.
That's in the future. Thank you, Jerry, for coming out. We'll be looking at the King later on down the line somewhere. We got championship matches coming. Okay. This is to introduce the Black Diamond, known in Mexico as Diamante Negro. He does not speak English, but which is to present Jerry Lawler with a plaque symbolic of the Mexico City's most popular TV wrestler. Please extend your courtesy, Salvador Luderov. Okay. Well, let me, I don't know exactly how to, I don't interview in Spanish too well, so let me say that we just mentioned that Salvador Luderov sent us a wire about this, and it was the first time, because our championship wrestling is on the cable all over Mexico in there, that it was the first time that ever a non-Mexican has been voted the most popular, and of course Lawler was. And coming up to make the presentation was the winner last year. I must say that in his own country in Mexico, this wrestler is, well, he is the king of the country down there. Diamante Negro, and they call him Casa Grande, the big house. And he is here to make the presentation to Jerry the King Lawler. And if we can get, will you see if Jerry's out there? We want to get him in here for the presentation. And this is okay. This is for Jerry. We got a little communication problem in here, but you understand. And we told you last week we had heard from Salvador about the honor, and Diamante Negro is up here as the winner last year of the vote in here to make the presentation, and I think he's got the sombrero there. He's got the hat.
Thank you.
Okay, you got to model it right here.
I have to wear it?
Huh? Yeah, just slip it on there. And let's see what...
Numero uno.
Huh?
Numero uno. Numero uno.
Here. There he is.
How's it look, huh?
Senor the King, right in there. Really, all kidding aside, it's a great honor, and I think you feel that way, too. And I guess it's gracias, is that it? Yeah.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, yeah.
Okay.
And this is the plaque from Mexico. Jerry Lawler, it is indicative of the win. Okay, there it is. Jerry Lawler, voted the most popular wrestler in... Hey, what the hell? Hey, come on. Hey, get somebody out here. What is this stupid guy? Yeah, Hector, tell him in Mexican just to get out of here. We're gonna have to take a break here. It's crazy.
Give me a man, I told you! Shut up, bananas! I told you, Lola! I told you, you about time we got rid of the trash and the garbage and the scum. I want you to know something, punk. I want you to listen to me good. When you get conscious, I hope they play this back. You deliberately, Lawler, you deliberately burned my neck. You deliberately tried to blind me. I want you to know something right now. Russell, here's the signed contract. And in it states that I'll wrestle that piece of scum any place, anywhere, anytime he wants to. I don't think you've got the guts, Lawler, but somehow, if you muster him up, come and get me because I'm ready. I hate your stinking guts. Your daddy was a wino, and every time Dick and Harry from Bangor to Boston had your mama's phone number, you're scum.
That was a cheap trick, Boston. We're going to take a break, and we're going to get out of here. Austin, what a lousy.
Coming to the ring, a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Attention, ladies. He was Frankie the Thumper in Paradise Alley and is now pursuing a career in movies. Retired at times at his ranch in Texas. Entering the ring, Terry Promo.
Special challenge match. Terry Funk, whose leg just got caught in the restraining rope around the ring, being chased by Jerry the King Lawler. Funk's hands heavily taped in there. Looks like almost he has casts on. Ties it up with the King. Referee Jerry Calhoun. His extremely successful former world champion brother, Dory Funk. Woo! And there goes Lawler through the ropes, but on the ring apron. And Funk kicks him out right here on the timer's table. Look out! Funk really nailed him with an elbow. Again. Picks him up. Atomic drop on a concrete floor. And the roughhouse tactics of Dory Funk do some early damage to the King. blood streaming down the right eye of Terry Funk. Funk bleeding profusely from both eyes. Lawler off the ring apron, off the ring turnbuckle. Nails Funk with a foot. Hart being chased by Lawler, but Hart slips into a refuge he's used often. That is slipping up under the ring. He's faster than anybody I've ever seen around that ring. Uh-oh, Lawler takes a shot. Funk may have caught him very low. Wasn't caring if he did. Headbutt puts Lawler on the deck. Funk, fortunately for Lawler, still hurt. Here comes Lawler up. Another headbutt. He must have, yeah, Lawler's bleeding now over the right eye. Funk really going after him like a crazy man. What a battle this has been. No wrestling match, just brutality. The entire front of him. Funk hollering, shrieking as he goes after Lawler. Now he comes back to the referee. Boy. This bout has only been underway 7 minutes, 50 seconds. And these two are a mess, both bleeding profusely. Lawler takes another shot right on the cut. Terry Funk hollering at Lawler. He is a wild man tonight. Hart getting into his cheapos. Funk with a
been waiting a long time, a lot longer than just a week, as a matter of fact, about 13 months before we've had the King wrestling here on Championship Wrestling, and we're delighted today. It's going to be quite a match that he's got scheduled. Jerry, can we get you over here a second? But I just wanted you to stop by here and say we are really pleased that you're wrestling on Championship Wrestling. It's been 13 months since we had you wrestling on the Championship Wrestling program. The folks in the arenas and all that have had a chance to see you, but we're delighted to have you here today.
Well, you know, Lance, it feels real good to be back, and that was quite a little set-to that took place out here a while ago. I was kind of enjoying
Jimmy Hart.
Oh yeah, I was enjoying seeing that. You know, Hart has, and I know this is going to be hard for you to understand, but Hart has really done me a few favors since I've been back wrestling. Now, I don't know if you realize it or not, Lance, but, well, I know you do because we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but I got a wire the other day from some of the wrestling associations around the country, and currently they have me ranked as the #3 heavyweight contender in the world today. Now, before... To get that high, the last time I was that high in the ratings, it took me about 3 years. Well, you know, my #1 objective when I got back into wrestling was to get rid of Jimmy Hart. Well, he knew this, and so in order to try to keep me from getting rid of him, he's called all around the country, not just around the country, around the world, and he's brought in some of the top wrestlers
Has he not?
in the world to go against me. Well, by piling up some wins against these guys, without even thinking about it, trying to get at Jimmy Hart, it's been kind of advancing me right up in those ratings. And so without actually trying it, Hart has done me a favor. And now, you know, like I said, my #1 objective was to get rid of Jimmy Hart. And I haven't been actually able to do it physically. You know, I did fracture his jaw, and I had his neck in a brace there for a week or so. But I haven't been able to get him completely out. But, you know, in watching what took place out here this morning, there may be another way to do it. Because... well, like you said, after, let's see, who was it? Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
You know, I beat Handsome Jimmy Valiant in a loser leave town match. Now, he's gone. A couple weeks ago or last week, Wayne Ferris got his neck hurt. He's out of action. Right. He's gone. Right. It looks like today that Tojo's going into the managing business.
Really?
And Hart's not going to get to manage the 2 Japs, which he was expecting to do. So that's another 3 men gone. Now, who does he have left?
Hey, listen, when you look at it, Hart had this enormous stable of everybody. It's down now, as far as I can see it, to the Angel and Gypsy Joe.
Yeah, the Angel, Gypsy Joe, and whatever goof he can get on the telephone to come in here. And that, as so far, has lasted 1 week with each of those clowns. Yeah, right. So pretty soon, everybody's going to wise up to Jimmy Hart, and he's going to be out of the wrestling. But as a matter of fact, right now, he's got 1 foot out and the other on a banana peel. Well, let me see what I can do to help you along, Jimmy Hart. We're going to just see if we can do something to get rid of the rest of these men of his, and then Hart will be gone.
Coming up here.
Yeah, well, I'm wrestling Gypsy Joe right now, and, you know, if Hart doesn't have anybody to manage, he won't be around, will he?
Very good reasoning.
Okay.
Jerry, congratulations on the rankings, too, boy. They are super. I have to be honest and say here was a guy who was virtually into obscurity with the injury on it, and all of a sudden, due to all these great wins, he is right back up in there, #3 ranked, and one of the association's #1 ranked. We're ready for it. Let's take a look at him in action on Championship Wrestling.
It's going to be one fall 15-minute time limit match. Introducing at a weight of 224 pounds from Romania. On the left of your screen, Gypsy Joe. And on the right of your screen, from Memphis, Tennessee, 228 pounds, the King, Jerry Lawler. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
Gypsy Joe coming out quick.
Yeah. King backed him up rather quickly, though.
Look, going for the leg.
Going for the leg. Gypsy Joe had it wrapped around that middle rope, but he's still working on it, working on the inside of the knee. Lawler using the right hand and forces his way back. Jimmy Hart trips Lawler up. Gypsy Joe, again, going after the leg. Referee Jerry Calhoun here trying to get him out of the ropes. Joe with that leg up in the air.
Crowd chanting, "Go, King, go."
Boy, Gypsy Joe really let him have it right hand, right at the top of the forehead. Slams him into the turnbuckle. The King. Off really to a slow start here, but Lawler's always been a slow starter in matches.
Gypsy Joe, being a veteran, he's trying to take advantage of that because right from the very opening shot, he went after that leg, started very quickly on him.
And
Hart got involved.
And Gypsy Joe is still working on Lawler's leg. Lawler up on his feet. Gypsy Joe grabs that leg, wraps it around the rope again. Boy, every time Joe gets close to him, he's got the boot or the hand going after that right leg.
Hart saying Lawler's all talk, but I noticed him not getting too close to Lawler in there except when his back's turned.
That's right, only when his back's turned. He tripped him. Lawler's back was turned. Oh, Lawler took a right hand. And now he says, all right, your turn for the right hand. Jimmy Hart went running out of here. Lawler nails Gypsy Joe. Look out, here comes the Angel. And Hart steps up on the apron. And that is going to be it. The referee calls for the bell. Hart and the Angel both working on Lawler. Gypsy Joe down on the floor grabs Hart's chair. He heads back for the ring. Lawler has won the match. Well, that's a little consolation right now. The Angel holding him up. Jimmy Hart, whoa, fires a big right hand, and he put every bit of his weight behind it. Yes, sir. That one will come back to haunt him, I guarantee you. Oh, another one. Joe with a chair. Lawler nailed in the top of the head with it. Hart and the Angel and Gypsy Joe all pounding on Lawler. Lawler's got Hart. One punch, he flips him over the rope, down onto the floor. The King clears the ring, throws the chair, hit Gypsy Joe in the back of that, and there you saw the guy in a white suit going out the door. That was Jimmy Hart. Lawler got, Lawler gets the win by disqualification, but it got to be a little more satisfaction there, and he got at least one punch at Jimmy Hart after it was all over.
We're going to take time out right now, Davey, and we'll be back with more action for you coming up in just a moment. You made your plan to be right there in the Gardens because in addition to 3 championship matches, some other great action on an all-star card. One of them is going to be that AWA Southern Heavyweight title match when Jerry the King Lawler faces Terry Funk. By golly, I'll tell you what, here's a guy that knows Terry Funk, and you know just how wild he is.
Well, I think the people have probably seen how wild he is by now. And one thing, Lance, that you failed to mention on this is that it's going to be a no time limit and no disqualification, just like the last match we had. And there were chairs, just everything that you could imagine was involved in that match. You know, I used to have a lot of respect for Terry Funk, but now I think you're a low-life scum of the earth, just like Jimmy Hart, the man that brought you in here, Funk. And the next time I get you in the ring, I'm going to make an example out of you. I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life. I'm going to do the same thing with Hart if he gets close to the ring.
Of course, the title is on the line this time, and I got to tell you that Terry Funk has some opinions of you that you may not care for. I'd like for you to listen to a couple of words that Terry had to say.
acting like a fool and an idiot with a crown on his head whenever I believe in stepping into the ring with nothing but a pair of tights on, going in and competing at a dead level best. But a guy like Lawler, he likes to use illegal tactics like his fist. Well, let me tell you something. As I can use my fist, I'm not Cassius Clay, I'm not Sugar Ray Leonard, but I sure know how to knock a man out, and I would love nothing better to take Lawler and take this fist and drive it right down his sick, putrid throat.
Well, obviously, those are his feelings.
Well, that's just fine. I think the same thing, only worse about you, Funk. You showed me what kind of man you were, and now I'm going to show you what kind of man I can be. You're going to see the old king in Louisville.
Tuesday night, you'll see it.
Prestigious bout that's coming up. It will be a grudge match that has the current holder of the AWA Southern Heavyweight belt. He himself a former CWA World Heavyweight champ. Coming down to the ring as he looks up to see Hart suspended in the air. Ellering, the king of this match a 1-ball, 60-minute time limit out of Amarillo, Texas. Introducing the former world heavyweight champion, Dory, and his opponent out of Memphis, Tennessee, current title holder of the AWA Southern Heavyweight crown. Once again, Dory, the king of your referee, Jerry Calhoun, 1-ball, 60 minutes. Well, the Hart gets in the ring tonight. It'll be the hard way.
Here it is, the big main event. Jerry the King Lawler back on the ropes, and his opponent, one of the wiliest of the former NWA World Heavyweight Champions out of Amarillo, Texas, Dory Funk Jr., who just took Lawler over. He hooked him with that head on a side headlock and then married him right onto the deck, up above the ring, hanging in what Lawler called the best seat in the house, is manager Jimmy Hart, who is responsible for Funk being in here. He's the one that brought him in. Dory Jr. hanging on with that side headlock. Lawler comes up. And as Lawler tries to shake Funk, no success. Dory Jr. still hanging with that side headlock. Ooh, he stretched the neck all the way as he took Lawler up high over on that mare. Banged him down, really 1.5. The referee says 2, but his right shoulder was up before that second count. That time it wasn't. Dory Jr., you will see, if you have not seen him before, one of the most methodical wrestlers that at least we have ever seen. And again, tremendous pressure on Lawler's neck as he takes him up and over, and he really leans back on that side headlock. Dory Jr. got extremely upset over what Lawler did in that brutal, bloody battle with Terry. Terry, of course, Dory's younger brother, and Lawler trying to pump his way up out of it. Junior trying to reverse the direction of his pressure as Lawler came up. But now, Dory Jr. was going for the wrist lock in there and reversing the pressure on Lawler. Hart is up there hollering, come on, come on. And the King rolls him down on the mat. 2:39, and the first time Dory Jr. has been down at Lawler's command tonight. Lawler twisting that arm up, and a reversal by Jr. And again by Lawler. And he puts him all the way over. Referee Jerry Calhoun checks the shoulders. Left shoulder way up. Lawler telling referee Calhoun, ask him. The referee said, no way. Dory Jr., no indication that he's ready to give it up. In the corner, Lawler. Funk buries a shoulder into it. The referee says call for a break. And Dory Jr. backs it up straight. Good clean break. Fireman's carry throwing into an arm bar. Dory Jr. hanging on to Lawler. Lawler back up with that fist doubled up. Whoa! Boy, he straightened Lawler up with 2 broad arm uppercuts. 4. Look at Dory Jr. And he runs him down into the ground. Smacks his face into that mat and holds that arm barred back away from his shoulder. Dory Jr. in almost a detached manner. He has always wrestled as one of the coolest wrestlers we've ever seen. Boy, he will hurt you. And this guy, when he gets mad, it's seething, seething, seething. Dory Jr. hanging on to that bar, back away as he steps loose now. Lawler on his feet. Cuts loose, goes for the wrist. Lawler may be inclined to just rear back and blast him with that fist. The referee tells him no, but Lawler nails him and puts him to his knees. Funk up and back down and up again as he grabs the hair. Takes Lawler off his feet. Hart up above the ring, you almost forget about him. He's so much out of the way. And Funk barring that arm. Pulling Lawler back up again. Lawler drives him to it. Funk grabs the hair. Ooh. There's that uppercut forearm again. Man, oh man. He is snapping Lawler almost off his feet. Jerry out on the concrete floor, and here comes Dory Jr. Dory Jr. on the ring apron, and the referee saying, get back in the ring. And thank goodness he did. Up, here he comes again. Down on the floor. Funk slams Lawler down into the table and has hardly changed his expression, but he is letting out the vengeance for that bout that Brother Terry had with Lawler. And again, Lawler bounced off that oak table. Kicked in the ribs, and the referee about to disqualify him. He jumped back up on the ring apron. Look out. He's got a chair. Calhoun battling with him, gets the chair away.
But Dory slams Lawler back down again. Jimmy Hart saying, right on, do it to him. And Lawler staggering. He was really rattled off that table. Woo, he's got, I can see it. He pulled a chain out, Lawler did. But Dory Jr. goes after him with that uppercut forearm. He's got him hurt, staggered bad. His head snaps back. Lawler drops the chain, and Dory Jr. picks it up. We could see him. Suplex. Down Lawler goes. Count of 1, 2. Two count. He's picked up by the hair and really blasted again. Lawler kicking out, but Funk banging him. And Lawler nails him with a right. Dory buries his head, goes in and waist-locks Lawler, steps back and nails Lawler, takes the right hand. Lawler's right hand, which is legendary, starting to take its toll. Dory Jr. off his feet on the deck and slips out to the floor. Look out, here comes Lawler. Lawler looked like grab a step. Back out in the audience. Lawler in the ring. Here's Dory Jr. As Funk started in, Lawler started at him, and he jumped back down. Dory Jr. slips around on this side of the ring. Hart saying, get him now, get him now. Lawler sensing that Funk was really stunned by that last right hand. He's had a chance to shake it. And now he tells the referee, make him open him up. They tie it up right up above us. Dory Jr. zipping him to the midsection. He really uncrossed his eyes with that one. Boy, what a vicious one. And Lawler connects with a right. They're trading licks. Dory back down and out of the ring again. This time Lawler connects with him. Dory misses a right, takes a right. What a brawl. And Lawler rattles him right off the table. Dory roared back in, but Lawler caught him with a right. Hart kicking, screaming up there. Over the shoulder, has got him down. Funk covers up. Now he sits up. Lawler trying to measure him. Referee trying to keep him from unloading with that right fist. Dory in the corner, slumps back down again, and Lawler in on top of him. And as the referee was grabbing Lawler's arm, Dory Jr. kneed him. Lawler down. Dory Jr. trying to get him
toe right in Lawler's ribs. Lawler on his feet swings with a right. And again, as the referee's trying to separate them, Dory Jr. drops the knee on him again. He kneed him. Turns Lawler over 1, 2, and Jerry just saves it. Bam, and down goes the king. Big elbow missed, but Funk right back on him. Misses a right, takes a right. Dory doubled up. Crowd hollering, get him. Foot in the ribs. Lawler really pasting him with that right hand. He's bouncing Dory Jr. all over that ring. And Lawler fired into the referee. Poor Jerry Calhoun, he was hit earlier on a flying press from Dundee. Hart, from his pocket, drops the chain down to Dory Jr. And Dory bristles one off the head of Lawler. He covers him, but the referee's still down. Goes over and rolls Calhoun over. There's a cover. 1, 2, and Lawler kicks it. Funk slips that chain around Lawler's throat at 15 minutes past. Referee Jerry Calhoun grabs that chain that Funk had. He pulls it away from him. Lawler went to his tights. He nailed Dory Jr. with a vicious right hand. Another one. Referee now trying to get Lawler out of the corner. And now he's trying to get... Lawler throws the referee aside. He took away from Lawler that object, but he paid for it, did Calhoun. He has really been roughed up in a match. 1, 2. Funk with both feet up on the road is caught. The count stops at 2. And down goes Calhoun. Too much abuse to the referee. He slips out of the ring. Lawler and Dory Jr. just banging away at it. The referee calls for the bell, but I don't know whether he just stopped the bout or a disqualification. I gotta believe. Dory Funk has been disqualified in 17-15. down from his perch. Referee Jerry Calhoun staggering back to his feet. With his helmet on. Hart missing Lawler. He was going to hit him with a helmet. Lawler swinging at both Dory Jr. and Hart. Disqualification on Funk at 17-15. We're going to have to take time out here, and we'll be back in just a moment. Funk back in the ring with Lawler. Misses the right, takes the right. Lawler's hot now. He got it going. He wins it on a disqualification where Funk deliberately drew back and nailed him. So Lawler by disqualification in 17-15.